Good morning to everyone and happy Saturday. I hope to God you had a better Friday night than. Oh wait, where's my camera?
I was just about to say where.
Hold on. Let me get me on the screen here.
It's better like this.
Hold on. No, it's better like this. All right, hold on. All right, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get me in my spot. All right, I'm here. So anyway, good morning, and I hope to God you had a better Friday night than I did. Good Lord, man, that was ugly. And then my favorite bet was the Suns, and then the way they lost, it was just shitty night. Let's try to win some of those dollars back today. When we're talking about college basketball, we got 17 games queued up here. Not sure what happened with this graphic, why it's cut off, but all right. First up is Georgia at Florida. I've been watching a lot of Georgia basketball because Andy, right here on the right, he works here. He's a diehard Georgia fan, and he always has Georgia on the small TV in the office. They're pretty good, man, and I don't understand this line. Maybe the line's a little sketchy, but from what I've seen from Florida, it's not a team I should be scared about fading. So I'm just going to do Georgia +8, Florida -8 pass. Polls running. Andy, any reason we shouldn't take the dogs here?
No, I agree with you. I think the reason a lot of people are looking at Florida in this game so much is I think they just saw Kentucky score a lot on Georgia last week. That was something nobody had done on Georgia. Georgia's defense is playing really well. But this Florida offense isn't Kentucky's offense. So, I don't see them scoring at the level that Kentucky did. And that's the only team that scored on Georgia more than even, I think, 75. So that's a number that I don't see them touching. So I think Georgia keeps it close because I don't think Florida has that type of offense. And also Georgia's offense playing pretty well lately too. As long as their shooters are there and Jabir Abdur-Rahim's hitting threes, I really don't think I think they could win this game. So yeah, I thought this number was very sketchy.
All right, let's swing it around. Scoop.
Yeah, I'm with Andy. I just don't see it. Georgia's 3-1 on the road. The only game they lost to was Kentucky. I see them being close all game. Actually, the Bulldogs won each of their games this season when they were 7.5-point underdogs. They won outright. This is the Mike White revenge game. Toast told me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, somebody says it. I was waiting for one of you two to say it.
I don't see anything but a back and forth game here. It should be a 2 or 3 point game either way. Georgia plays mostly man to man, but they can drop in the zone too. Abdur-Rahim should be able to spot up, hit a few shots. He had 34 against Kentucky. He's shooting 40% from three. I don't think Florida's going to be able to stop him. Like I said, should be a close game either way. I think 7.5 or 8 is way too much.
Toast, are you sweeping Georgia?
Yeah, no question.
Wait, Toast, before you get started, can you turn the volume down on the mic? It's the little knob right underneath. It's peaking, so just turn it down a little bit.
Check 1, 2.
Better.
Yeah, they said it right out the bat. We got Mike White revenge game going into Florida against the little man himself. I honestly feel like this line is a little bit sketchy to me, but this kind of feels exactly like the San Francisco Gonzaga game to me the other night. I saw that line, and when I first saw it, I was like, man, you're going to get 10 points with San Francisco? That's so weird. It almost feels like a trap. And San Francisco played Gonzaga close the whole game. So I'm going to stick with my guns here. I understand that Florida has a pretty decent size rebounding advantage. I will give them that. But at the same time, Georgia is going to slow this game down. I understand that they both play at a faster pace, but I think that Georgia is going to try to play through their defense. And if this is somewhat even out of a close game, I keep on preaching this. Florida, one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country. So we saw that.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know.
Did you guys hear that? What the hell was that? Toast, your mic is not good, by the way. I don't know. Can you go like this and tap it to see if it's coming through? Yeah, it's coming through. Yeah, your mic, I don't know. It sounds like it's broken or something.
Weird. But yeah, I'm on Georgia too.
All right, next. What the hell was that? Did that noise come from?
They cheered us, though. I don't know.
I'm looking at like if I had another window open. I don't.
That's what I just
I don't
checked.
even have another window open. Yeah.
All right. Next up. Next up. This is a 14.5 point spread. Do you have any interest in this one, Scoop?
I mean, 14.5 is a lot of points, but I don't see Kansas State covering. I wouldn't bet this personally. I just think 14.5 is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I figured this would be one we would kind of breeze through.
Kansas State should struggle on the road. I mean, they have the highest turnover rate in the Big 12, and that's going to be a problem against Houston's defense at home. I just don't see Kansas State covering, but I'm also not going to bet it.
Yeah, I said he did turn the mic volume down, and it was still doing that, though.
Maybe just unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah, try that. Try unplugging it and plug it back in.
In this game, I like Kansas State. I think Kansas State cover. I think it's actually a pretty good matchup. I was going through it yesterday. I think neither team's shooting well lately, so I think there's not going to be a lot of points in this game. I know Houston's obviously ranked much higher, but I think Kansas State's just finally going to start finding what they were. Maybe not last year, but be a better team. I think they cover. This is such a high number, and I think it's a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, I'll go with that too. I'll tail. I don't know much about Kansas State, but I don't like Houston. So, Toast, let's try this mic out.
Check 1, 2.
Oh, sounds much better.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank God.
Oh, weird. I agree with Andy. I would take the points if I had to. I'm not going to bet this one personally. I would look. Both of these teams don't really run very fast of a pace. Houston's in the 300s, Kansas State in the low 200s. So both of them definitely playing through their defense. Both of them a top 20 defense as far as I'm concerned. So both of them, neither one of them really turned the ball over either. So I have a hard time believing that Houston just runs away with this, but they've shown they can do that in the past, but they haven't shown that here in the Big 12. So I would lean taking the points if I had to.
Is it 15 now?
He said, Toast, thanks a lot. Your mic before woke my baby up.
I don't know how that did that. That's weird. This has been a weird stream so far. Scoop couldn't hear me at the start.
True.
Well, hold on. Now that they're saying turn it down a little more, I can do that on my end. I can drop it. Okay. So 41% Houston, 33% pass, 25% Kansas State.
33% pass.
Yeah, a lot of passes. Next game up, Georgetown, Providence. Well, Scoop, Big East. Do you see any reason to take the Hoyas?
No, I think you guys might, but I don't see. This is another revenge game with Ed Cooley, but I think it's the other way. I mean, I think Georgetown. It's just they're not going to be able to. I think the spread's too short for this to be anything close to a Providence win. I mean, fans are going to give Cooley shit. It sucks Hopkins is out for the season, but I just don't see it. Big East opponents are shooting 60% against the Hoyas on 2-point field goals. 60%. Georgetown's still Georgetown. I mean, their only win is against DePaul. I don't see anything but a Providence win. Plus, they got UConn on deck. They're going to want to win this game before facing them. I'm going to go with Providence.
By the way, I just put this hat on, and I didn't even realize till the stream had started that Michigan State screwed a bunch of people over last night.
I had Wisconsin. So.
Wisconsin won. I'm putting Georgetown up because everyone's hating on them. Time to buy back on them. But I don't know. I haven't bet this, but that's the way I would go, honestly. Georgetown.
I bet it. I truly like Georgetown here. I truly, honestly do. We're getting Ed Cooley. I was on Georgetown last game, so I'm full. I even put my write-up. I fully expect to lose this bet and feel like, God damn it, why did I bet Georgetown again? But if you take a look at these two teams, I mean, neither one of them is going to play very fast at all. Georgetown 271 in average possession length, Providence 227. Both of them like to slow it down and play through their defense. I just feel like 11's a lot of points. Did Georgetown maybe have a little bit of a letdown spot, knowing that they're coming into Providence last game? Maybe. I can deal with that, but Providence does have Connecticut on deck. It's I don't want to call it a look-ahead spot with Cooley in the building, but it's definitely something to think about. So I'm gladly taking my 11.5 and see what he does coming back home. So.
Andy does not have the stones to take
Dude,
Georgetown.
No, I thought I was going to be the only one. I'm on Georgetown.
What?
I think there's going to be way too much emotion in this game for Providence to win this game by that much. I mean, Look, there's a lot of details about the situation that was ridiculous. Those fans are going to be going crazy at him the entire game. Ed Cooley last game, I don't remember who they played. It was Butler. They were not even thinking about that game. This game has been on his calendar since the moment he took that job. And same thing for Providence. I think there's just way too much emotion for this to be a blowout. Georgetown has played close games on the road so far before this year. So, like, they can do it. And I think that environment is just going to be too toxic for it to be a blowout.
I know we're messing up because Scoop is getting compliments in the chat.
He's
Scoop,
got nice hair, though.
The Providence fans are going. I mean, everybody's on Providence because of this situation right now. It feels like, and I don't know.
when Scoop's on an island, hammer it. He said.
Oh shit! Which way though?
Yeah, right. 41% Georgetown, 33% Providence. So Georgetown wins the poll. The 2 poll winners we got Houston, Georgetown, Georgia. So 2 dogs already in this have won polls. All right. Next up, Seton Hall, Marquette. And Toast, before you even talk, this is a spot to play Seton Hall, right? This is when you fade Marquette was when I feel like the spot to play Marquette was when everyone started sleeping on them, but now that they're laying 9 points again, this would be a spot to fade them, right?
I don't think you can make a bet in this game until you know the status of Kadari Richmond. I'm trying to.
Oh, I didn't even know that he was up in the air.
He's out. He's out.
Oh,
Sure. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it
I
says
think
no update.
He
so-
said he's out. I just saw it. I don't think he's gonna play.
If Scoops, did you just see it? Or are you making that up? There's 2 different.
No,
things.
dude, it says no update right now. 25 minutes
no
ago, so
update.
there's nothing. I don't.
So,
I thought he'd
yeah.
be. Yeah.
I'll look it up.
It's really if Seton Hall doesn't have Kadari Richmond, it's really hard for me to get on Seton Hall there. I mean, I understand that they lost their last game without him. They lost to Providence, and now they're going to play a Marquette team that I understand has looked bad at times, but I just have a hard time believing they don't play well against Seton Hall, a team that really, if you take Kadari Richmond away, who's going to score the basketball? So I lean Marquette. Don't really love it at 9, but if Richmond doesn't play, that might be a really cheap price because I really don't see how Seton Hall scores basketball.
I am not laying 9 points with Marquette, but I can't bet this one because Seton Hall, New Jersey. Pirates up.
Yeah, I thought he would have a status by now. That's why when I did these graphics, I thought they'd have a status by now, and we'd know if he's not playing. This is probably Marquette by a lot. They are not a particularly great team without him.
How do you know? We've barely seen it.
They played last game against Providence at home, and they did not look good.
And they lost by 4 in a game that
It
they
was
should
just
have
one
won.
game. They're adjusting, bro. They're adjusting.
I mean, so like they said, Kadari Richmond leads the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals. Without him playing, it's just not going to be a close game.
All right, then pick Marquette then, coward.
I'm going to pick Marquette, 9.5.
All right, Seton Hall, Island. Go ahead. Everyone flood in on Marquette. Everyone forget what we saw a month ago when Marquette was letting us down every single game as favorites. Everyone
If he was
forgot.
playing, I would have been on Seton Hall. But if I don't know his status, I'd.
Next man up mentality.
Yeah, they don't have that. Unfortunately.
52%, 34%. Marquette definitely wins the poll.
If he plays, I think I would go Seton Hall. I mean,
I agree.
All right, Kansas at Iowa State. Cyclones laying 5 in this one. Laying 5. And I tried to explain to you guys what a great head coach does to a program in Matt Campbell. And look at this. We're laying points to Kansas. That's where we've come. You guys didn't want to buy into it.
I couldn't. When I saw this line, I started laughing. This is Kansas by a mile. I don't know how. They're the better. I know it's on the road. But they're a better team. They have the better player. I don't have any reason as to why Iowa State would cover here.
Toast?
Oh yeah, go Toast.
Go ahead, Scoop.
Not often you get Kansas as 3.5 point dogs, but that's what happens when you lose to an
It's up to
unranked
5
West
now.
Virginia. West Virginia and UCF on the road. They lost 11 of their last 13 away from home against top 25 teams. I know it'll be tough with an Iowa State team. His defense is absurd. They're 12-0 at home. They won 6 straight against top 25 Big 12 opponents, which includes Kansas earlier this year. Yeah, I don't see Kansas. I mean, listen. It's hard. It's hard to fade Kansas getting points, but that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to keep going with Iowa State riding at home.
There you go. Good pick, Scoop. Good pick. Toast.
Yeah, I just can't do it. Just not there. I would take Kansas. I didn't bet it at 5. It just doesn't even make any sense to me any type of way. Shot quality model has Kansas winning by 2. Yeah, but KenPom, the all-almighty KenPom, has them losing by 5. Look, Iowa State's very, very good defensively. There's no question about that. Gilbert, Limpsey, all those guys, Curtis Jones, Robert Jones, all those guys, really good. Kansas has Kevin McCullough, Hunter Dickinson, and that's what they do. I don't know how well Dwan Harris goes, but it's kind of how he goes, they go. If he scores double digits, they win in cover. If he doesn't score double digits, they don't win in cover. I mean, Kansas has a huge height advantage. They play just as good. I mean, their defense is top 25 still in the country. It's not top 5, but I mean, it's not like they're also turning the ball over. I mean, Dwan Harris is a senior point guard. So I lean Kansas. That number makes absolutely no sense to me, and it continues to go up. So the books are continuing to give Iowa State even more respect. So Kansas or pass though for me.
Clones.
I mean, Kansas gave up 91 to West Virginia too, so that's a rough one.
54% of you said Kansas plus 5.
If Kansas wouldn't have already lost 2 games on the road, it'd be different for me. But I don't know, it's just you just don't see a Bill Self team do that a lot.
Yeah, you couple that with the fact Iowa State beat Houston at home. People are looking at that too.
I mean,
hell yeah, I'm looking at that, Andy.
Kansas is a better team though. So.
We'll find out today. Texas Tech at Oklahoma. I don't even want to look at Oklahoma after last week, man. What was that? I think that was Tuesday night. Oklahoma was
Texas.
Oklahoma, Texas, my favorite bet. They lost outright. Yeah. Oh, actually, I had 2 favorite bets. I had that one, and the other one actually won. But I liked Oklahoma. It was minus 4.5. I remember it vividly. They got their asses kicked. I don't know. I guess this is a really bad year for Texas Tech. But I'll put Texas Tech up for me. But to be honest, I haven't followed it closely enough to really. I'm curious to see what these guys have to say. Scoop.
Yeah, I was kind of back and forth on this. I like you said, I've been getting killed on Oklahoma games.
Their numbers at home were great. When I made a YouTube video out of it, I was like, oh, Oklahoma at home, got to do it. But then they got their face kicked in by Texas, who sucks.
Every time I'm high on them, they lose. I'm gonna ride the Red Raiders, baby. Comeback against BYU was awesome. They're 4-1 in the Big 12. Oklahoma's a tough defensive team, but like you said, they let an average Texas team beat them and kind of run them out of the building. It's kind of a tale of 2 teams. Oklahoma's 60th in offense and 21st in defense. And Texas Tech is pretty much flipped. They're 26th in offense and 60th on defense. So it should be a really close game. Oklahoma pretty much handles mostly things through their post players, so it's going to slow the game down. They don't shoot a lot of threes, so I think this should be a close game throughout. But I'm gonna pretty much lean to Texas Tech here.
Andy?
I like Oklahoma. I think it's a bounce back at home. I know it was bad the other day against Texas. I'm starting to readjust how I feel about Texas. I'm still not there yet, but a little bit. I think that made me feel a little differently about them. But yeah, Oklahoma did look bad there, but I think bounce back at home against Texas Tech.
Toast gave a nod when you said that, so I think Toast is with you on Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm on Oklahoma as well. My chances has not changed as far as Texas is concerned. I understand they looked good at times. Rodney Terry is not a good head coach. I'm not worried about it. Oklahoma, on the other hand, yes, they looked bad against Texas, but they also have played that Iowa State team that you guys were all loving just a couple minutes ago. They beat that team at home by double digits almost.
Iowa State is road warriors, though.
Yeah, this is true. So, look, Texas Tech coming off of a pretty big win against BYU. You really the opposite spots here. You have Texas Tech coming off a big win, and you have Oklahoma coming off of a bad loss, a loss in which they were in that game with Texas. Texas kind of took over late, and they never came back. So, I just feel like Oklahoma's going to be able to run their offense the way that they want to. They're really good free throw shooting. They really run inside the paint. Texas Tech inside isn't really the best defensively. I think Oklahoma is going to look pretty big compared to Texas Tech, 105 in height compared to Texas Tech's like 270 something. So I think that Oklahoma at home, Big 12 home teams, I'm just going to continue to ride it and take my chances there. So, I really like Oklahoma today.
To answer some of the comments, I'll probably do something for NBA later. I was up late doing the NFL videos, and then we have the Saturday morning college basketball show. So the Saturday NBA, I don't like I like the Miami Heat against the Knicks at plus 4.5, and I know people hate that, so I'm not eager to put that one on YouTube after what the Heat did to us. But I'll probably maybe do something later. Maybe I'll do like a quick live at like 4 p.m. or something. But
I'm on an island a lot today.
No, I'm with you, bro.
Sure, you're with me.
The host is the host of the show. My name's on the goddamn channel.
He was treating you like you were just like, oh yeah,
like a side character or something. 44%, 40% leaning Oklahoma. Wow, I'm by myself. Nobody reputable is with me. All right. Speaking of Texas, here we go, and I'm going first here. BYU hammer spot. Wait, where's my pick graphic? 1 second. Oh, here it is. All right. To steal Andy's quote, what we saw on Tuesday night, that was Texas' best fastball. That was what all they have. Andy always says that in the office. That was Texas' best fastball. BYU coming off a loss to Texas Tech. Yeah, BYU smash spot. BYU by double digits. Am I right, Scoop?
Yeah, I wish I had someone to follow here, but yeah, I'm with BYU. They fell to 2-4 in the Big 12, and I know they didn't play much this season, but Dawson Baker is going to be out for the year, which hurts their depth, the bench a little bit. But I know everyone's picking the home team for these matchups in the Big 12 and have a pretty good hit rate, but I'm going to stick with BYU. They're shooting 47% from the floor. They're second in the nation in three-point shooting. BYU is above average from the free throw line. They're 72%. Plus, they're second in assists from assist to turnover ratio in the league. I like their spot here. I like Texas in a down. After their big win, I feel like they're in for a letdown here. So I think I would go BYU.
We got to bring up Toast next because this guy says, "Here it comes. Cue up the Toast hates Texas talk." So is he right?
You're going to sit there and go to war with Rodney Terry as your coach, bro? Come on. That's just...
So BYU.
Oh, yeah, I love BYU. So here's what I did. I did BYU first half. BYU first half minus 3.5. BYU, one of the best first half team in the country, especially at home. They did have a 17-point cover margin at home at one point. I think it's gone down a little bit, but it's still very big. And then I also paired them with Texas A&M. I do not think Texas is a good basketball team at all. And I also think this is a terrible spot for Texas because they're entering a stretch in their schedule where they go on the road to play BYU. They come home to play Houston, on the road TCU, back home at Iowa State. That's just 4 really, really, really big games for them. Coming off of 2 really big wins against Oklahoma and Baylor. I think this is a really good spot for BYU, whose offense, number 11 in the country, and they can do it on both ways. They can shoot threes, they can hit twos, they can hit free throws. Number 10 in effective field goal percentage in the country right now. They're also going to have a huge height advantage. These guys are going to look like monsters against Texas. BYU 16th in the country in height, Texas 242. Texas's offense is Max Abmas and Tyrese Hunter. What Tyrese Hunter did the other night, you won't see again the rest of this year. I can promise you that. So you can mark that down and come at me. But that was his game this year. You won't see it again. I think he has one of those games once a year. If you're a Texas fan, you know that's true. So yeah, I like BYU here and I like them big.
This is the Toast versus Texas is becoming like a Toast versus Braves rivalry on this show. Everyone's chiming in about
how did it work out, Braves fans. How did it work out?
This one guy says Toast is. One guy said Texas is garbage on the road, and then Toast picked BYU, and he goes fade Toast.
I think we have fade Toast shirts, right? Or is it?
Yeah, we have fade
shirts?
Toast. We have fade sauce shirts. They're on there somewhere.
If you want to get a T-shirt, you can definitely go buy one.
I
I'll sign
yeah,
it.
I agree with everything you said. Rodney Terry, not a great coach. In this game, they're going to need great coaching. I did just say I was readjusting how I feel about Texas, but this game's just not a good spot for them. BYU's a very tough place to play. So, yeah, I like Texas.
Wait.
BYU. My
Oh,
bad.
I was
like
going to
BYU,
say,
my
wait,
bad.
what the hell? So 60%, 30% BYU. We all like BYU. It's a BYU Cougar program. Next. I didn't realize that so many people had bought into the Toast Hate Texas thing. That was
I
brand new
love
to me.
it. I didn't know either, but I'm loving it.
North Carolina at Florida State. Do some ACC. I don't think Florida State's any good, but you know what? I had a couple bets tied into that Miami game a couple weeks back. I had Miami money line on a parlay. I had Miami -6 or whatever, and Florida State went in there and beat them outright. So Florida State screwed me. Andy, any lean here?
Yeah, I liked this when it was 8.5 for UNC. I like obviously even more now. I think UNC is gonna blow them out. Florida State's not a great home team. They have 2 losses at home this year that I can remember. They were to Lipscomb and Georgia, not great losses. UNC, I think they're one of the best teams in the country right now. They're gonna come in there, probably punch them in the mouth. So I think UNC big.
So to answer, someone said Toast has more kids than the entire chat combined.
Okay.
Scoop has 3 kids. So Scoop has more kids
That
than
would definitely be me.
I have one legitimate and one redheaded stepchild. That's it.
And sauce.
All right, Scoop. Do you agree with what Andy said? Your UNC.
I'm going to actually go the other way. I think Florida State keeps this game close throughout. They did the first game against UNC before they pulled away. Florida State's a good 3-point shooting team. State didn't have Spears last game against UNC, and they kept that game 78-70 as a 12.5-point favorite. UNC was, and they covered that. That was away. The way they keep this game close is keeping North Carolina off the line. They had a ridiculous 31 fouls last game, which is absurd. But they won 6 of the past 7 games, and they're also 6-1 against the spread their last 7 games. North Carolina is also ridiculous against the spread right now, but I like Florida State at home. I think they're going to keep it close and cover the 6.
All right, Toast. I didn't realize there's so many Toast haters in the chat here. Everyone's rooting heavy against Toast. He's like the villain.
Yeah, well, I also didn't. I was pretty cold for a bad month, so the writing was on the wall there. That's just
North Carolina -6. You with Andy or Scoop?
Andy. Yeah. North Carolina just goes on the roads and bludgeons teams. They've had their last 5 non-home games. They've all won by 10 points or more. They just go on the road and kick the shit out of you. I've been writing this North Carolina team. North Carolina and Boise State are the only teams that really haven't let me down this year. So I'm going to continue to ride North Carolina. I played them a couple different ways. I played them in 2 different parlays. That's how I ended up. I paired them with Toledo, and I paired them with Baylor, both of them at around even money. So yeah, but I'm going to put North Carolina -6 on the next VIP ticket that I put out after the show.
I'm with Scoop, Florida State, but I don't know that much about these 2 teams. I like what Scoop said.
Thanks, buddy.
And also the line movement. Let's be honest. No, neither of you guys mentioned that the line movement kind of scary here.
Yeah, it
7,
opened to 8.5.
So 74% of you guys, communities all over the Tar Heels here. Let me see the
73%.
I've lost money because of Toast so many times. No, you lost money because you placed bets, bro. Like, what are you talking about? You didn't place the bets for you. Like, oh man, people just like dying to give responsibility to anyone else. 73%, 18%, North Carolina.
73.
But
Yeah,
yes,
all over.
just so everybody knows, I have lost bets in my life. They just
You
there.
have.
I can't do anything about it. I lose.
Next up, Indiana at Illinois.
Andy looks scared to look at this game. Why?
I thought this line was ridiculous. This is insane.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, take
Oh, he had it on you. Oh, he had it on Scoop.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. I'm going to bring Andy up now. I didn't. He thinks it's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
let him explain.
I know it's a road Big Ten game, but this is a rivalry. I don't think Indiana's this bad. Illinois is also coming off a loss. I think that might help them a little bit, but Indiana's not this bad. Illinois, good team. This is a rivalry on the road. I think they keep it closer than 14. 10 points maybe. This line just made me I was floored when I saw it. So, Indiana.
Indiana for me, too. I mean, have you ever seen the movie Hoosiers? They were big underdogs at the end, too. You're going to count out Hickory? You're going to count out Hickory.
You capped that one.
I did a deep dive on it. I watched Hoosiers 6-7 times last night, and yeah, I think they can cover. Scoop.
Apparently, I'm just giving points today. I like Illinois. Indiana's 308th.
Oh, come on, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
you're like 14 and a half to the Hoosiers.
The opponent's shooting.
He's never seen the movie.
And Indiana just lets him chuck it up. Terrence Shitton Jr. came back, had put up only 8 shots last game. That's not going to happen here. I expect more from Shannon from earlier in the year, putting up 15, 16 shots. Indiana's going to struggle to stop it. I don't even know where he's playing. I don't know if anyone else knows yet. It's probably questionable.
I was just about to say that's a big question.
If he's not playing, well, even if he is playing, Illinois still has a size advantage on this one. Should be solid on the glass. So I will gladly lay the 14.5 to Kyle's Hoosiers.
The Doug Lane says, I'm the drunk dad in Hoosiers. You know, the guy who like takes he's like the assistant coach and he like can't hold it together. That's Doug Lane. All right, Toast, are you with us on the Hoosiers?
I would lean that way. I think that you want to see, hopefully, I think Ware's going to be out.
So who's Ware? Tell us who Ware is.
What?
Who's Ware?
He's their best player. That's what I was going to go into. He's their best player. He's like their center. I mean, he's their 7-foot monster. So if he doesn't play for Indiana, that would explain the line movement. But yeah, it just feels, I agree with Andy. It just feels so many points. I mean, the shot quality model, I mean, still has this as a 9-point game. I mean, Indiana's not a team that's going to play super fast. I mean, they're not. Yeah, it's just hard. They're really bad at shooting free throws, though. The one thing that I will say is that Illinois usually has a big height advantage. They're a lot bigger than other teams. They're not going to have that against Indiana. Indiana is one of the biggest teams in the country. But if you take away one of their 7-foot monsters, that doesn't help. But even with him gone, it's all 6'9", 6'8" guys. So, again, lean to Indiana. Would love to have their 7-foot monster Ware in there. But if he's not, it would suck.
We are killing it on time, by the way. We're about halfway through, and we're just past halfway through the game. So I think 11 a.m. is the good start time, by the way. Just thinking out loud. So Scoop Island again. He even put it in the chat. Scoop Island today. So, all right, and he's truly on an island because the community's with us, taking the points.
Is Detroit Mercy really 0-21 right now?
Yeah, there's two teams that don't have wins yet.
Is the other one Oak Hill Christian?
I hope they win their conference.
Yo,
tournament.
you guys see that clip on Instagram, bro? I watched it like 100 times. Yeah. That was hilarious. Oak Hill Christian's my squad. Those kids were out there giving it all, put it all out in the court. Auburn at Mississippi State. Finally, some SEC. Andy, a big SEC fan.
Yeah, the SEC games are very. There's a couple bad ones today.
So,
Alabama plays LSU. Like, there's some bad ones.
So, Andy, just glancing at this and not knowing much about these teams, just looking at the spot, this is a sharp spot to take the Bulldogs, right?
For you guys maybe. I just think Auburn's.
What do you mean for you guys? Is it a sharp spot to take the Bulldogs?
It is a sharp spot to take the Bulldogs. I'm not taking them. I'm on Auburn. I think Auburn has to bounce back. They've been hearing it a lot in the media, especially that they haven't beaten anybody good, and it is somewhat factual. If you look at that, they haven't beaten a team that's Ken Pom top 100 yet. Does not matter. In this game, they should win this game pretty easily. They're going to get up a good amount of threes. Janiah Broom was really good the other day, regardless of them losing the game. They did go on the road and play a close game against a really good Alabama team. So they're going on the road here. I think they win this one. I think it's by 3 or 4. I think the number's about right. But I like Auburn here.
All right. I want to hear what Toast has to say first before I put mine up, because that was actually some good reasoning.
I was like he likes Mississippi State. Yeah.
All right, Toast, you like Mississippi State?
Yeah, give me Mississippi State.
But what he said about like the narrative about Auburn not being able to beat good teams, I don't know. I feel like that sounded good.
Yeah, if you take a look at it, their best wins on the year against a USC team that's really bad. LSU's pretty bad. Arkansas is bad. And who's the other team they beat? Oh, Indiana, who's really not that good either. So no really good wins. Obviously, that spot against Alabama, I think this is kind of like a letdown spot for them. And then on top of that, you got Mississippi State, a team that's going to grind this game, is going to slow this down into a haul. Auburn likes to play fast, up and down, top 40 in average possession length. Mississippi State slows it down, 250 in average possession length. They love to play through their defense. Auburn is a top 5 defense as well, but Mississippi State's top 15. They're really going to limit Auburn from shooting the 3 balls. Andy talked about Mr. Jabari Broom. Well, guess what? He shoots 28% from behind the line. I think this is a very good spot for Mississippi State to play through their defense. They love to play inside. I don't love the fact that Mississippi State can't shoot free throws very well, but this is kind of one of the biggest games on their schedule for them. We've seen Mississippi State beat teams like Tennessee at home, and then they ended up losing the next game to Alabama, but they only lost to Alabama by 6. So, yeah, I think this is a really good spot to take a home team in Mississippi State right now.
I'm pretty sure I had Mississippi State -2 in that loss to Alabama, by the way. Scoop, who do you agree with? Toast or Andy?
Really quick with Toast, the funny thing is when he disagrees with you, he makes it known that you're scum. He's like, guess what, jerk?
I know he does do that. He's like, oh, you like Auburn? Guess you didn't think about this.
Well, guess what? You're an idiot. But I'm actually, I like Toast's reasoning. He actually took most of what I was gonna say. Auburn had a cake schedule, man, and home court is such a big thing. Auburn lost to Appalachian State as an away team. I think they're a solid team, but the cake schedule is just, it just gets to me. They're playing some of the bigger teams now. Cameron Matthews and DJ Jeffries are 2 of the best defenders in the whole conference. Pretty much, Tolu Smith leads the team in points. He's going to be able to put it up here. I just think I like Mississippi State here until Auburn shows they can beat a top 100 team. I'm not gonna go with them.
Andy changed my mind, man. I like how. I could tell by the way he spoke that he was speaking from the feels of the Auburn nation. I'm with him on Auburn. Let's do it. I'm not leaving Andy on an island.
If this game was in the jungle, I'd lay 10 with Auburn.
65%, 24% Auburn. Bob Close, where can I find the 4 factors and pace numbers for college basketball? CBBanalytics.com is good. KenPom is good. There's a few out there. Those are the 2 that I would use. But these guys look at college basketball a lot more than me, but I'm pretty sure those are the ones they use as well.
Yeah. KenPom is your best bet. Easiest way.
All right, next up. All right, where are we at now? Clemson Duke. I feel like we never talk ACC. Maybe because the conference is just crumbling.
Sucks.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we got Clemson Duke. It looks like Clemson catching 7.5 in Cameron indoors. Plus 7.5. Duke minus 7.5. Pass. Toast, you laying it with Duke here? Looks like Duke's pretty public side, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's public. I did lay it with them. So last night I got them and Albany Christian in a money line parlay, but I did put Duke -7. A couple reasons I like Duke. I expect a pretty big bounce back for them playing at home. After losing to Pittsburgh, I mean, that's another one that's just really probably sticks in their crawls. Clemson, I don't really think is that good. You can make an argument they're a very desperate team that's probably going to go to the tournament, and they're looking for a huge road win because their best road win is against Alabama this year. But I just really don't see it. I mean, they've won 2 games since January 3rd, one of them against Boston College, the other against Florida State. The last time they've won back-to-back games was back on December 22nd against Queens and Radford. This Duke team is very, very good. I also understand that they just played as well, but I think with Proctor healthy, I think that they don't really have an answer for Filipowski. I understand that PJ Hall is good and Chase Hunter's all right, but he can't shoot the 3 ball. I don't think Gerard's going to be able to shoot the 3 ball very well in Cameron Indoor. I think they're going to have a plan for that. I just think that this is a this is a typical Duke spot where they finally kind of get right and win by double digits here. So especially off that loss to Pittsburgh at home, I think Duke rolls here.
Duke -7.5. Okay. Scoop, you agree?
Yeah, Duke's coming back in the picture after a rough start. Georgia Tech almost beat them twice, but Cameron Indoor is going to be such a home court advantage against Clemson. They're struggling defensively, but they had a pretty good defensive showing against Louisville. They're not as bad as they look right now. Actually, they're going to score a lot of points here. Clemson struggles to stop the three. They allow 42% from the floor. They also send the team to the line a lot. And I mean, Duke's an okay free throw team. They're still in the top 75. Like Toe said, Clemson won 2 games this month, and I don't think they're going to have an answer for Phil Kowski. Yeah, I like Duke a lot here. Actually, I'll definitely lay to 7.5.
2 picks for Duke. Someone said Toast has needed a haircut since baseball season.
Soon.
EQ, is that the same EQ that comes on you switched your profile picture, or is that a new EQ? Because there's an EQ that's always here for the NBA show, but his picture wasn't a Raven. Seeing if that's
you got to realize that Toast has to drive like 45 minutes for a haircut though, because he's in Alaska. So.
Yo, he's in Anchorage. It's a city.
Also, my wife did hair professionally. I don't pay for haircuts.
You don't get them.
This is true too.
Apparently you don't. Yeah.
Ask the bitch first.
All right, Andrew, are you across the board Duke here?
Yeah, these guys hit it on the head. Clemson's 1-3 in their last true road games. I don't think going to Cameron Indoor is going to be easy. It's especially not going to be easy coming off a loss at Cameron Indoor. So that place is going to be probably the second best home court advantage today in college basketball. So yeah, I think Duke just has too many shooters for him. So yeah, this one could get ugly.
So that is the same EQ, and he's taking Clemson +7.5. Pat Bush taking Clemson +7.5. So there's some interest on Clemson.
I can see that really quickly. Sorry to cut you off, Sauce, but I can see that Clemson's played the 8th hardest schedule in the country. I mean, they've been tested over and over again. So that's why I said I think they're a tournament team because of who they've played. Personally, I don't like the spot today, but I can see I can see the Clemson side. I definitely can see it.
I'm siding with you guys. Duke across the board for us here. 57-27%. So community is all Duke. We're all Duke. As you would know, entering a spot like this, that you're going to be on the heavy public side laying it with Duke.
And just really quickly, none of these bets with 154 game, none of these are like whale head locks. These are no more than half unit, 0.75 unit plays. I mean, especially if you're betting a whole bunch of them, just throwing that out there.
Got it. Well, Scoop says he has a whale lock coming up.
That's cool.
I do.
It's news to me.
I do.
I'm very curious.
No, I thought about doing that. I thought about being like, yo, Scoop guaranteed a winner and just saying a random game and just like putting him on the spot and he'd be like,
like, oh, okay.
I guess I did.
I actually do one. I like one coming up actually a lot.
Hold on, let me fix the pie chart here. It's showing an NBA chart.
Do they quack?
Oh, Toast
I was
the
gonna
Ducks.
say, is it that game? I was thinking it was that
Do
game.
they quack?
Do they quack?
Baylor -4.5. Pass. Toast likes this TCU team. You know what? I'm bringing Toast up because I would almost guarantee you he's taking TCU. He likes this TCU team.
I do like this TCU team. I do think they're better than what people think, and I do think they got screwed in Cincinnati. But they are facing a Baylor team off of 2 losses back at home. I think this is a good spot for Baylor. I did North Carolina Baylor moneyline parlay together at +104 last night. I sent it out on their subscribers. Look, TCU, yes, I do like them very much. I just hate the spot for them. Second straight road game in less than 4 days. Playing, like I said, a Baylor team that's off of 2 straight losses. Baylor's one of the top 5 offenses in the country, and they're the number 1 3-point shooting team in the country. I just think that it's going to be a little bit too much for them. I like TCU because they have height and experience, and they can do all the things well, and they play defense. Unfortunately, Baylor has all those same things as well. Not really the experience, but they can match up height-wise. They definitely can match up defensively, and offensively, I think they're much better. So I'll take my chances with Baylor minus the short points.
Damn, I was leaning the other. I thought we were going to go TCU. I thought we were going to take. All right, before I put my pick up, I want to see what everyone else has to say. Scoop.
Big 12 home court, baby. Best 3-point team in the nation. Number 6 in adjusted efficiency, number 8 in effective field goal percentage. TCU's a sloppy team. They're a great offense. I'm not going to say they are, but they have problems taking care of the ball. And they look pretty awful against a bad Oklahoma State team. Baylor's 8-2 against the spread at home. It's good they're seeing TCU right now because, like Toast said, they're coming off of 2 losses, and this is a team they want to face right now. Jacoby Walter's been struggling, but had 22 points against Texas. TCU plays a man-to-man defense he can exploit. TCU is a good 3-point shooting team, but Baylor's has great perimeter defense. I just don't see TCU keeping up with Baylor, and I like to give the points here.
Andy, talk some sense. Oh, that's not Andy. Talk some sense into him, Andy. TCU's the move. You're not doing TCU either?
No, I'm a Baylor. Look, I've been looking at the way Baylor has been playing the last 5. I used our tools, and they're getting crushed in the paint. That's not TCU's game. They're not going to beat you in the paint. So I think that helps a lot. TCU just played a close game with, as Scoop said, this is my least favorite team in the country, Oklahoma State. They are an awful basketball team. I know it was on the road, but they're going on the road in this one, and they lost by 5 in that one. What tells me they're not going to lose by more in this one? So, I like Baylor here. Could get ugly, too.
This guy says Toast lived long enough to see himself become the villain. He is a silent guardian, a watchful protector. It's the Dark Knight shit. Hook 'em, Horned Frogs. Let's go. Horned Frogs, TCU, outright. I like it. I thought Toast was going to be with me. I thought... Shut up. Outright, shut up. I thought Toast was going to be with me. I thought we were going to be the only 2 on TCU.
I tried to get there. I really did, because I knew how public Baylor would be off of 2 losses. Trust me, I really did.
So it's just me. Is anyone in the comments?
I didn't lay the 4 on VIP, just for the record.
Not one person. I even put a comment out there. Is anyone taking TCU? Not one person. Not even somebody I didn't know. It's like me. Not one person. All right. You know
actually
what?
have more passes than TCU.
I'm going to screenshot this right here and tweet this out when they win later. Horned Frogs. Wow. So 63% of you said you would lay the 4.5 with Baylor. Second place was 20% said pass. Third place just 16% of you said you would take the points with TCU. All right, next we got 5 games left. Yeah, we're right on time. Okay.
And have a team that quacks.
It's time for the team that quacks. It sounds like Toast likes them. You know what? Let's bring.
I want to hear. I haven't bet this game yet. I know what I want to bet, but I want to hear what these.
Actually, we haven't let Andy start in a while. Let's let Andy bat in the leadoff spot here.
This is a tough one to start too, because Arizona's coming off. I mean, that was bad the other day. I know they.
How about this? Do you want me to give you the trend, the trend for the Pac-12 teams, and then let you guys go?
Go.
Okay. Really quickly, Pac-12 teams. Like Arizona today, that has a 2-game window. They're on a back-to-back road trip in less than 2 days window. 3-17 straight up. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, that's part of what I was gonna say. I mean, they're coming off such a bad loss in Oregon. Was it in Oregon State, right?
Yeah.
They lost that game.
Yeah,
Wait, Arizona lost that game.
Yes,
Yeah.
they lost on a buzzer.
Yeah, remember,
Thursday
I
night
liked
before
them
Dallas.
so much, too. I liked them so much. They were 16.5-point favorites. I'm like, they're going to blow them out coming off a loss, whatever. And then they went out there. They gave up 80-plus
And you
points
guys are
to
considering
that.
fading Arizona after that loss?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
What?
I think.
No. I'm putting it up now. Arizona.
Well, so you gave a good point the other day about Oregon. They rely on their jump shooters, and that is a problem usually. But when you're at home, I'm okay with that. Usually, jump shooters they're good at home, so I think this Oregon team at home gets it done.
So you're going to fade Arizona coming off the worst loss of the season.
He gave a good trend too. 3-17 straight up. This is a
Who
very
cares
quick
about his
turnaround.
trend?
Quick turnaround.
Scoop, you're on Arizona, right?
Give me that 3, baby. I'm the 3-17. I'm all over Arizona right now. I don't see them losing back to back. Oregon State shot. Oregon State.
This shit again.
Shot 56% from the field, 60% from 3. That's not going to happen again. The reason they lost to Oregon, even then, they still only lost by a buzzer beater. They only shot 21% from 3 against Oregon State. And what better way to increase that than to face the 241st team in defending the 3 in Oregon? They don't have the defense to stick with Arizona. Arizona is second in the league in rebounding, second in offense. They turn the ball over a lot, but it's not gonna matter. I will definitely take Arizona to win this game, and it is one of my favorite bets of the day.
There you go, Scoop. Toast, before you say anything, I want to ask you, what would this line be if Arizona won by 10 the other night?
Probably around the same, maybe. 5.
No, it wouldn't. It would be like 6.
Yeah, it would. Dude, Thursday nights in Corvallis, I don't know, man.
They were
Look,
laying a billion points in the game.
I lean with Arizona like Scoop.
I thought you liked the
truly do.
Ducks.
I was just wanting to know where everybody else was at because I think this is one of the hardest games to cap on the board, and I'm not even making a joke about that. Shot quality model loves Arizona. Like, there's no question about that. I thought when I was originally looking at this game, Arizona would be the side. There's no question. Shot quality has Arizona winning 83-73. And that doesn't really happen a lot. Like, they don't really have that. It's not really that big of a difference. So that had me there. But if you take a look at what Arizona has done, they look very good. They're darlings. But any time besides Alabama that they faced anybody that's somewhat decent competition, I guess Duke in the very first part of the year, they haven't done well. And now they're in a spot where every single Pac-12 team, except for 3 in the last 20, has struggled in this spot. This was my big bet with Cal. This was my big bet with Stanford in this same spot with 2 days rest. They just played on Thursday. Now they go Friday, Thursday night. They have traveled that. I mean, it's just such a short turnaround. That said, I don't trust Oregon. Like, I don't feel like Oregon is a very good basketball team. I treat Oregon like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. I understand that Dana Altman is a very good coach. At home, they've been very good. But who do they beat at home? USC with not a very good basketball team. UCLA, not a very good basketball team. Cal, not a good basketball team. Arizona State, not a good basketball team. So nothing at home has they've done to impress me. Again, I lean Arizona. I love Tommy Lloyd. He's a former Gonzaga guy. That's why I kind of wanted to hear what everybody else was saying, because maybe I wasn't looking at it right. But Arizona should kill this team. Arizona should fucking kill this team. I don't know why they're not doing it right now, but yeah, they should kill them.
Andy, do you want to switch your pick now that you've heard that Scoop's favorite bet of the day is Arizona?
No, it actually makes me more confident.
Yeah, look at that graph too. 80% of the public on
56% of the tickets, 79% of the handle, according to that data there. Poll is split, 44%, 44%. A lot of people like the Ducks here.
It's a tough one.
It's a great game. It's a very intriguing game to handicap. Very intriguing.
By the way, Kadari Richmond didn't even travel with Seton Hall. He is out today.
How was that not known then? How is that?
Like, how did he? If he didn't travel, how?
I know that's stupid.
I will say, this year it's starting to become a little bit like NBA-ish.
No, NBA's gotten better with it. The injury reports this year, they've done a good job.
Well, then I guess
college basketball's getting worse then.
Yeah, it's like now we're dealing with NBA stuff.
That's ridiculous.
Andy, I mean, obviously, when I first look at this. Kentucky at Arkansas, laying 6.5 on the road, public coming in all on the other side. Like, my instinct is I want to take the points with Arkansas, but that team sucks, man.
Yeah.
The Hogs are terrible. They are bad. Do you have any reason to try to take a stab on the Hogs here?
No, I tried to find one too. This team's just awful. I don't think any of the. I think the way Musselman built this team, it's just not meshing, and they keep trying. They keep trying the same lineups, and it's just not working. They have a lot of talent, but they don't work together. Kentucky's the complete opposite. They have a lot of talent, but it is working together. I know they're coming off a blowout loss. South Carolina's not an easy place to play this year. Clearly, that was a game South Carolina got up for. Kentucky didn't. Kentucky, I also think they put a lot of stock into putting Big Z in the game and thinking he was going to go dominate in that game. He looked bad. They were prepared for him. I think teams will prepare for him. But the rest of Kentucky is a really good team. I can't find it with Arkansas. I think if this was at Kentucky, you'd be looking at a much different spread. I mean, this is a bad Arkansas team. They might be, if it wasn't for Missouri and Vanderbilt, they're the worst team in the SEC. And that's surprising because there's a lot of talent on that team, but they just don't work together.
Yeah, and I'm definitely on Kentucky too. It's not even that I follow these two teams closely. I took South Carolina in Kentucky's last game I took the points with them. South Carolina beat them outright, and they just got that player from overseas, and there was just so much hype surrounding it, and it was the perfect time to fade them. But now, coming off that loss, it's almost like the roles are reversed. Now is when you bet them. Like, okay, the hype is gone. People are like, oh, maybe it's not working. Now they're laying 7 points on the road here, so clearly the hype is not gone. I mean, it's still Kentucky, but this Arkansas team is bad. I'm on the Wildcats for sure. Toast, I doubt Toast is going to go Arkansas. Toast? Are you muted?
I think you're muted.
Can he hear us? Muted.
Yeah, he got it. He was muted. It's muted again.
My interface is
now you're back.
Oh, there
you're back.
Okay. Yeah, I did Kentucky. I really like Kentucky. Kentucky's in shambles. I think they run them out of the gym. I understand that Arkansas is, I guess, I don't know. I guess you could say they were started to play better for one game against Texas A&M, and then they reverted back to the same old team in shambles, like Andy alluded to. They've played a very good schedule, but they've been absolutely terrible against everybody they've played. So I think Kentucky wins. I think South Carolina wins. I paired them together, and I'm probably going to add Kentucky.
I like South Carolina too. I like South Carolina. I don't know if we have that game queued up, but I like that one too. We don't. Yeah, they're like -6 or something. Yeah, I like South Carolina. Scoop.
Yeah. I had a nice time fading Kentucky about the game against the Gamecocks, but I like the Cocks. I don't like the Hogs.
What the?
The last
We know.
the last five SEC defeats were
Just a wild way to phrase it. Like,
yeah, it's a good one. The last 5 SEC defeats, Arkansas was by an average of 21 points. They're not entirely healthy with Mark out the last game too. They're 319th in points allowed, with 77 points a game, and not all three losses Kentucky had. They came back and won by double digits. Kentucky should win pretty much easily against Arkansas.
Steve Mason goes, not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't know if anyone knows Seinfeld. Our poll's all over. So we're a Kentucky program. I would imagine the whole world is a Kentucky program today.
And they'll still win by 15.
Yeah, I agree. Last game was the game to fade them. I think this is the game where they come out and that kid. When I think of it, I think of Kristaps Porzingis. That's what he. 7'2", shoots threes. Like, he's crazy. All right, UCF. Surprised Andy put the graphics up for this one. I don't know a damn thing about either team. I know that Andy thinks UCF is kind of good. I know that. Just because he said that in the office. But Andy queued up the graphics for this one. That means one of these three guys, because they have a group chat that they decide what games. So that means one of these three guys wanted to talk about this game. Was it you, Toast?
I have a bet on it. Andy, I know you have a bet too, right?
Yeah. I don't know if we're on the same way. I like.
Cincinnati?
No, I'm on UCF. I think UCF.
Andy likes UCF. I've heard him speak highly of UCF.
Cincinnati's been winning close games too. Like, it's not like they're winning by a lot in these games. So I think UCF. I know it's a road game. Big 12 home team's always a big trend. I think this is the one home game today. I'm kind of off of the home team. I like the way UCF has played. The way the way they play is a really good brand of basketball. So I think, and they've pulled upsets this year too. I know a lot of them were at home, but they just look like an all-around good basketball team. Good vibes over there too. I've been on their Twitter too. Everybody loves them. So yeah, I like this UCF team.
I'm putting it up for me too. Andy has spoken highly of UCF in the office. He has given me no reason to not trust him. So I'm going with UCF. I'm tailing. Toast, it sounded like you liked UCF also.
Yeah, I had him on there as well. I just don't understand where Cincinnati's laying all these points. I mean, I could understand giving them a couple just being at home in the Big 12, but at the same time, I mean, if you take a look at what this UCF team has done, understandably, there's some of their bigger wins that came at home, but they've also played teams like Miami on the road, Kansas State. I mean, they played Houston. I mean, I understand that they're not winning those games, but home wins against Kansas, Texas. I mean, Maine is not a bad basketball team. I mean, Lincecum, Charlotte. They win an OT on a neutral. This team has been tested, and that's why I don't mind getting 6.5 points with them. Cincinnati, on the other hand, when they have won, Merrimack, Stetson, Evansville. BYU and TCU. It seems like it's just like far and few between with them. Yeah, I think that UCF is just as good as them. Cincinnati, they're both going to play through their offense. I'll give you that UCF is terrible offensively. They really run through their defense, but at the same time, Cincinnati is not a team that I see blowing people out, especially by double digits. I know it doesn't have to get to double digits, but yeah, I think this is a really easy one for you at UCF.
Scoop, are we sweeping UCF?
I'm gonna go the other side. Last time these two played, since he won at UCF 73-71. UCF just has one road game this season, and it was a big upset. They rallied from 16 down in Texas, but it's Texas. The fact remains they're still 1-3 against the visiting team. Their 3 other road losses have been losses by at least 15 points. I'm gonna stay with the public and to be the Big 12. The Big 12 home team here, they're 11-2 at home, and their 2 losses were a combined 5 points. They're both great defensive teams in the top 75. The only thing that troubles me is one of Toast's things is they're 303rd in free throw percentage, Cincy. So that kind of worries me. I don't have a bet on these games like those two, but I'm gonna lean Cincinnati on this one.
Someone just called Scoop Island Epstein Island.
The only reason I didn't use the free throw thing, Scoop, is because UCF isn't really good.
Yeah, I think they're 200.
So I was like, I would have felt dumb saying that. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, I wanted to use it, but yeah.
All right, we got 2 games left. Oops. 2 games left. Actually, let's bring up Toast because I know he likes Texas A&M. He mentioned it earlier. He has it in a parlay. Oh, he already told us what he's doing. He's done a moneyline parlay with Texas A&M, and what was the other one?
I
think it was
BYU.
BYU. Yeah, BYU. All right, so Toast on Texas A&M. I guess we'll bring up Andy to talk SEC. Andy, are you leaning the same way as Toast?
Yeah, I don't see it from this Mississippi team. Ole Miss is not a good basketball team when they play good teams. They played a very easy schedule early in the year, went 15-0, got ranked. I think a lot of the reason they got ranked is because of who their coach is. They do have one of the better coaches in the country, but I just don't think he doesn't have a very talented team this year. When they've played in the SEC, they lost on the road to LSU. That's a bad loss. LSU's not a great team. So yeah, I think Texas A&M is going to blow them out tonight at home.
Scoop?
Yeah, I'm gonna fade the public here. 94% public on Texas A&M. They're inconsistent. They're shooting 39% from the floor. They have the lowest success rate in 3-pointers in the whole nation. I think the away losses are concerning for Ole Miss, but I think Auburn, Tennessee, and even LSU are better than A&M. You heard me. Ole Miss can shoot from anywhere. It'll stretch A&M's defense. Plus, they have a solid defense themselves. I'm taking Ole Miss in the points.
Agreed.
LSU's not better than A&M.
Agreed, Scoop. Everyone on Texas A&M, I'm on the other side with you. Ole Miss. I'm not leaving you on an island. I'm siding with you.
I don't want to be on Epstein Island by myself.
Yeah, for real. So I just started the poll, so not many people got a chance to vote. But it looks like most people were leaning towards Texas A&M, 50% to 38%. Last game. Scoop, you're going to lead us off here for the Pac-12 game. Actually, Toast likes Pac-12. Let's let Toast lead us off. This one's at a pick'em. I'm leaning towards the Huskies, but I am waiting to put my pick up in case someone changes my mind. Toast, any reason to take Utah on the road here?
I don't think so. I lean the Huskies as well. I was actually kind of waiting to see where this line was this morning because Utah's in that same type of Pac-12 spot where they played Washington State on the road on Wednesday. They have one extra day, so it doesn't count as the same trend, but very similar to it. And then on the road, Utah, in conference play, not a road win. Losses at Arizona State, Stanford, and Washington State. Now they play a Washington team that I don't really love. It's hard to love a team that's has a Severe Wheeler as your point guard, but that's coming off of 2 losses. But Colorado and Stanford both have been pretty good teams. This one's kind of a hard one for me, but I would lean Washington here at home. Utah can't be trusted on the road. At home, I love Utah, but the only thing that was holding me back is Utah is a lot bigger than Washington. So if they start getting some open looks from threes, they're big guys. can really shoot. Like Brandon Carlson can really shoot, but Washington's actually one of the more experienced teams in the country with Wheeler and McGahee as their point guards and stuff. So I would assume that they should figure things out tonight at home against, like I said, a Utah team that's only struggled on the road. They've shown nothing good on the road this year. So hard to back a team like Utah on the road.
Scoop.
This is pretty much. I mean, obviously, I was going to say it's a toss-up. Obviously, if it's even, but
it's a pick-up. Scoop says it's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up, guys. 50% either way. I mean, Toast said he lost, all 4 conference away games. The problem is Worcester, and probably Davion Smith is going to be out too. They're both question marks, and without Smith or Worcester is going to be a huge problem. The other issue with Washington is that they gave up 90 points in back-to-back losses against Colorado and Stanford. I don't like either of these teams. I mean, if I had to pick one, I'll pick Utah just because I like the way their defense is a little better. But and they're due for a win on the road. I don't know. I'll pick Utah, but I don't like either team on this one.
All right, so a lean towards Utah. Mine. It sounds like mine and Toast are also leans. Maybe Andy has a bet for this one, or are you leaning with us?
Yeah, I'm leaning Washington too. It's a late night game, so I don't know if it'll stay at a pick'em, but like I said, late night in Washington. I think it's Washington here. It takes a lot for me to think Severe Wheeler to root for Severe Wheeler too, but yeah, I think they have just enough. Utah not great on the road. It's a very tough game to pick.
All right. And our poll is leaning towards Utah. Well, very slightly, 43%, 37%. It's after 12, so the games have started. Thanks for watching.
They have started.
Yeah, thanks for watching. And they had over 600 concurrent viewers in there. The goal was to try to get a college basketball following going because last year I barely did any. So thanks for watching. We'll be back next week at the same time. We're going to throw college basketball stuff on the live show throughout the week as well. Everyone, have a good day. And I'm going to try to get something together for NBA, but I'm here by myself. No one's in today. Prop Beaver isn't working today. So if I do something, it might just be me. We'll figure it out. Bet responsibly. I'll talk to you guys soon.